If you want to build muscle, do you need to put on body fat? If you want to bulk, do you have to get fat as fuck? If you want to get huge, do you need to get huge? At the end of this video, you're gonna find out. If you don't know me, my name is Zach Perner. I have changed over 10,000 people's lives for the worse. I've ruined it, no. I've hopefully made them better in terms of transformations, and I've been training for like 13 years myself. So it doesn't look like it, but I've been training for a long time. I've had my fair share of bulk, so I'm not gonna lie, it's gotten dirty.
Oh, this is absolutely outrageous.
I am so full.
It's gotten very bulky. I've been at that point where I used to get really mad at my photographer and I'd be like, hey, if you take better photos, and he's like, your face is fat. And I'm like, fuck. So I've been there. I've been in moon face, and you don't need it. So the good news is you don't need to go that far down the bulk. I've tested every method possible to see how much muscle I can put on in the best amount of time, and I've probably figured out what I think now is, well, I think it's the best method, the best one I've found so far. I'm gonna tell you what it is today. There are pretty much 4 steps that make up this method. It's training, food, rest, and supplements. That's pretty much it. Now, I will say that if you like what's in this video and you want to hear more about it, there's a free mini course I'm actually giving away in the description below. You can check that out. It's basically, I've already done it. It's like this, but in much more detail, much more action steps, and I kind of run you through a presentation. So if you like this, you're gonna love that. So let's dive into those 4 steps, starting with food. So to gain body weight, we need to be eating more energy than we're burning. I think that makes sense. So let's look at this little cup here. That's a cheeky Starbucks cup, but really we're gonna pretend like it means the amount of calories you need to eat to build muscle. So if the cup's full, perfectly full, you're gonna build the exact amount of muscle as much as you possibly can. If it's empty, it means you're probably gonna burn a little bit of fat, you might lose a bit of muscle, you're not maximizing your potential of growing. If it overflows, it means you're gaining body fat pretty much. So the problem is like you guys right now, you don't know how much is in that cup right now. So if I pour a bit of this in, minus the overflow, you'll be like, is that enough? Am I losing fat? Am I gaining muscle? Who knows? A bit more? Am I gaining muscle? Yeah, maybe, hopefully. Who knows? Is the strength going up? Cool. But really, we don't know. So usually what I used to do, it's what I used to do. So in an ideal world, we just eat enough, just every day, to get to where the cup is just full, maybe a little bit extra. That's it. That's one day. And then you repeat that every day. So at the end of the whole, let's say, 4-month period, you've gained this much body fat. It'd be around there, which means you've achieved the goal of gaining as much muscle as possible, and you've just got a little bit left to trim. So then when you cut, you trim it all off. So how do we do that? You estimate your maintenance calories, Google one, and just sit at that for a little while. We want to try and find the maintenance calories where your weight doesn't move at all. Now you just add a little bit to that, just a tiny bit. Add like 100 calories. Or what I like to tell people to do is estimate your maintenance as being a little more active than you are. Whatever you need to get to gain around 200 grams a week. Now that you have your calories, eat really high protein. Double your body weight if it's in kilos. That's usually what I like to do. That's pretty much it. It doesn't really matter too much how you distribute your carbs and your fats among the calories. That's pretty much it. If you dirty bulk, it's gonna be really hard to keep track of these things. And dirty bulking usually just means overeating. So we're just not overeating. We're eating just around maintenance. Now, how do you know if you're eating enough? One, like I said, your body weight should be gaining around 200 grams a week, and you shouldn't be that hungry. If you're still hungry, that's usually a sign that you can eat a little bit more food, because when I'm at perfect maintenance, my hunger appetite is pretty level. Provided I have my regular meals, I don't really feel that hungry all the time. So that's when I know I'm eating enough food, and I tend to go a little bit over that. So the feeling I get when I'm lean bulking correctly is I kind of don't feel like food, but I eat it anyway. Now, the next topic is by far the most important, and it's training. So when it comes to your training, there's a million things you can focus on, but the main ones that are going to make the most difference are progressive overload. So that's getting stronger over time, either with more reps or more weight. But the bit that underpins that, that's probably the most important out of everything, is your form. If you have really scrappy form when you're trying to overload, you're just wasting your time. And if you have really bad form and then you're changing exercises, you're wasting your time. If you want to train efficiently and as best as possible, nail your form. So the form is going to look pretty much like this. Every rep has a really slow descent, slow negative, controlling the weight the whole way, a pause at the bottom, so you fully stop at the stop sign, stop the momentum, and then a slow acceleration in the beginning so that you can actually engage the right muscle and then accelerate faster out of it. So the acceleration should be fast, but don't bounce out of the bottom. It's pretty much the key. Now, if you do that until failure, you're gonna tear some muscle. You're gonna do some damage. If you try and get better every time and you eat enough to replenish that and actually fuel your sessions, you're gonna get stronger over time. The only way you're not gonna get stronger and build muscle over time is if you don't rest enough. Now, I mean rest as in your session. So you want to have around 2 to 3 minutes rest actually between sets so you can recover enough. And then outside of the gym, you need to rest enough as well. So I like to train for 2 to 3 days in a row. That's it. I never train 4 days in a row because if I can train 4 days in a row, that usually means my sessions aren't as intense, which I think kind of makes sense because if you can train 10 days in a row, you're probably not training that hard because your body can't recover that well. Or you're just a genetic freak. You could be a freak, I don't know. But for most people, you just can't. So 3 days in a row is what I like to do, and then I have a rest day after that. So resting is pretty easy. I mean, just get to bed early, get a good night's sleep, get 7 hours sleep, rest in between your sets and take enough time out of the gym. It's pretty easy. The hard part is training because all the questions come about training, all the questions come about food. How many sets to do? Should you train every set to failure? And there's a lot of different ways and perspectives on this, but I mean, I'll give you mine, what I think, just to fast track it in case you are asking that. Bear, can you stop fucking like chewing that bowl? Point was, there's a lot of different variables when it comes to training. So in case you have those questions, I'll answer them here. So for me personally, what I like to do and what I recommend people to do is train to failure, because this is a whole other topic in itself. And I don't want to spend too much time on this, but just super quickly, if you train to failure, your muscles have a reason to grow pretty much. It's like it's hard enough for them to grow. If you don't train to failure, why would they grow? It's just not because you're doing a bicep curl. You got to make it significantly harder so your body goes, shit, to do this again so we don't die, we need to do something about it. If you don't have the energy required to rebuild, then that means you're not eating enough. And if you don't have enough rest, it means that process can't happen. So that's why the training, nutrition, and recovery is the 3 basics. But if you nail the basics, you'll get the best results. So what I recommend you guys to do is download that mini course below so you can actually see more specifically about the training and about the form and what that looks like, and try this stuff out. Try it out. I give you a sample split in there as well. And if you guys want, you can like try my coaching for free if you want to give that a go. But either way, you'll get a sample split. You can try out this stuff and then to see how you go. So the last one that I wanted to touch on super quickly is supplements. So I think we know by now that like supplements aren't going to make a crazy difference. They're literally the last percent just to supplement. Unless you're talking about the cheeky supplements, the sups that shall not be named. They're like the Voldemort of subs. you just don't talk about them. But normal supplements, daily supplements, they're going to make a decent difference, but only a little bit. Before you even touch supplements, you've got to start with the basics: training, nutrition, rest. But provided you've got that sorted, they can help, and I'll show you how they can help. Fuck. So if you're struggling to get your nutrition sorted, and you don't have enough protein and it's difficult for you, then OxyWhey is great. Honestly, best tasting protein. Get a good protein powder. This is my favorite one. All of these you can use Zac10 at EHP Labs. Whether you buy EHP Labs or you buy another one, it's up to you obviously, but this is the brand I've worked with for years, and honestly, and they taste amazing. You're supporting me too, which is cool. That's fun. My pre-workout Pride, I made this with EHP because this has the perfect energy and focus to crush your sessions. So yes, you can train without caffeine, but caffeine's been proven obviously to enhance your workouts and have better strength. Now, I put a little bit extra stuff in here. I put focus ingredients and pump ingredients. There's no itchiness, none of that. I don't like that. With beta-alanine, you need a significant dose to actually get the fatigue-resistant benefits from it. So 2 grams, it makes you tingle, doesn't do anything really except annoy me. So I took that out. But this has just a really good focus-based energy that it just makes a good workout. It allows you to focus on mind-muscle connection. Secondly, it says Tren on it, but it's creatine, I promise. Creatine is the most proven supplement. You can get it from red meat, but you need to eat a lot of it. So you could do that, or you could just supplement with it. I have around 5 to 10 grams a day. So if I made a video on creatine before, some people respond better on 10 grams a day. Otherwise, just try 5, see how you go. That's about as crazy as you need to get with supplements. You can go for a good multivitamin, you go for a good fish oil, I recommend those as well. And these are the ones I take to kind of relax me. So at night, it's this magnesium, any magnesium glycinate, really. Magnesium threonate and glycinate are probably the best ones. Glycinate is a lot for the body's muscles as well. So I find that's really good. And then ashwagandha. Ashwagandha! If you want reduced cortisol, which is like a nice relaxant at night. Heard some questionable things about ashwagandha, but I really like it. It makes me super tired. And the most important thing when it comes to your sleep is actually cutting out caffeine just a little bit earlier. So if you're like me and you're a caffeine fiend, just time it properly. So you can have it either a little bit in the afternoon or don't have like 300 milligrams in the afternoon if possible. That's why these crazy pre-workouts, they just impact your ability to sleep. It's like you don't need a gram of caffeine just to get to the gym, right? Like 150 for me, and that's me there. 300 elite, but if I'm training in the afternoon, I just won't have that much caffeine. If you do that, it'll help you sleep and you can get to bed earlier, which is obviously what we want. So to wrap it up, we pretty much covered the 4 pillars, the 3 main ones. We've got training, train to failure, hit it as hard as you can, and you want to be overloading as much as possible. Your split doesn't really matter too much. Choose whatever you really like. Beginners opt for more frequency, like a push-pull legs or an upper-lower. I've never got into upper-lower, to be honest. It just didn't seem fun, so I just do a push-pull leg for the most part, or like a bro split. So up to you. But train well. So the exercise selection, what you really do in the gym doesn't matter, it's how you do it. So if you could take any advice from training in this video, is it's really focus on your form and make sure you're smashing your muscles and not using your joints and using momentum and things like that. More gains at less risk of injury. And we've spoken about food, so you now know how to find your maintenance calories, how to go a little bit over that, hit your macros, eat good foods and not gonna cause any gastric distress or any inflammatory things like high sugars. Take those out, take all the junk out, because whether it does anything or not, who really knows, but you'd rather err on the side of caution and just like leave that shit out. So don't have sugars and things like that. Eat a little bit above maintenance to gain around 200 grams a week. And that's on average as well. So that's pretty low. Just know that if you gain 250 grams of weight a week, it's probably gonna be more fat than it is muscle. And thirdly, rest. Rest enough outside of the gym. Have around 3 days in a row training and then have a rest day after that. So don't just have the Monday to Saturday train, Sunday rest day. I know it's painful when you love gym, but try to put your rest days in there because they will make you more gains. One thing I like to think about is if I'm really wanting to go to the gym, I could have a good session, but sometimes I'll be sore and I'll be like, am I really gonna like hit a PR today? Like, am I gonna smash it? No, I should probably just do that tomorrow. So then I'll just do it the next day. And let me know in the comments below what kind of experience you've had with this or if you have any other questions on this stuff. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and genuinely, if you wanted to see more of this, of me talking about this stuff in general, hit the link below and get your free mini course in this. You'll also be added to my school community as well with other members and other free content. But yeah, that is it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this and stay massive.